Hello, this is Vincent Master Bassist. The first thing you'll notice is this isn't a video. The second thing is it's not a cover. This is in fact a video essay on why Steve Harris is the ultimate metal bass player. So let's start with some background. Steve Harris is an English musician known for his work in the heavy metal band Iron Maiden. He is also associated with the band British Lion, which is his side project. If you are involved in the metal community or know someone who is, it is likely that the subject of Iron Maiden has come up with you before. They are a relatively esoteric and polarizing band, not having the greatest number of hits, Number of the Beast and Run to the Hills excluded, but the most dedicated fans in metal history. If you listen to Iron Maiden frequently, you will most likely find that amidst the other talented musicians, the bass guitar is a prominent and essential part of the soundscape. The bass being so apparent is no accident, as the founder, lyricist, and foundation of the band, Mr. Steve Harris, is the ultimate bass player in the genre of metal. One doesn't have to look far in the metal genre to find great bassists. David Ellefson of Megadeth, Johnny Christ of Avenged Sevenfold, or even Eddie Jackson, who performed on Operation Mindcrime, one of the best concept albums in metal history. But among all of them, there is Steve Harris of Iron Maiden, who is undoubtedly the best. To start, Steve Harris founded the best band of all time, Iron Maiden. Even in his early career, when members came and went and he couldn't seem to get a solid lineup, he pulled together the perfect lineup to convey and perfect his work. It is no surprise that Steve Harris is a bassist, as bassists are the foundation of the band, and clearly, as the mind behind the lyrics and the creator of such a beastly band, Steve Harris understands a good foundation. As a bassist, Steve Harris understands his role and has perfected his craft. Even in his early works, you can hear how he surpasses other bassists of the time. No fancy or unnecessary playing, only intricate melodies that make sense in the song. No off-time playing or sloppy transitions, only a solid lock-in with the drummer, Clive Burr at the time, and a relationship with the guitarist that isn't boring. If you observe the bass in the songs Murders in the Rue Morgue, Invaders, and Children of the Damned, just to name a few, you will find that his bass playing is quite unique and colorful, especially for the time, and especially intricate yet not disruptive, which is tragically common for the time. Steve Harris writes very tasteful bass lines, and it is easy to see that he understands basic music theory and chord progressions in a song, while also having his own unique style and technique. He plays a solid bass line when needed, and spices it up with busy fills and melodies when there is a risk of the rhythm section getting too tame or stale. Here, Sun and Steel for an example of a boring rhythm part made exciting by Steve Harris's playing. Another thing to mention about the fundamentals of Iron Maiden is a tight lock-in between Steve Harris and percussionist virtuoso Nico McBrain. If it was not apparent how a band works, you would think Nico McBrain and Steve Harris are one being performing two musical pieces at once. They are unreal in the rhythm section, rivaled only by David Ellefson and Nick Menza on the Rust in Peace album, and only barely then. Moving on to the next topic, Steve Harris's tone and instrument of choice. It is important to know that Steve Harris plays a Fender American precision bass with heavy flat wound strings. Amplification is not as important, as you can simulate this tone with anything that has an EQ. The precision bass is a working man's bass, easy to pick up, yet nearly impossible to master, but Steve Harris has definitely mastered it. Having a simple layout with one split coil pickup, one volume knob, and one tone knob, the precision bass is simple to understand for any old bass player, but when applied to the musical stylings of Iron Maiden, dual guitar parts, large drum sound, and wailing vocals, it would seem a more versatile instrument would be needed. Yet Steve Harris gets by with such a simple configuration due to his careful equalization and playing technique, which allow him to cut through the mix properly and maintain his role in the band. The heavy flat wound strings and wide neck of the instrument add an extra layer of nuance to his playing, as endurance and strength are essential to maintain the two-finger technique and the busy bass lines of some of the more advanced songs, such as Only the Good Die Young from Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, or Fear of the Dark from the album Fear of the Dark. You will find that playing such songs will prove difficult on a precision bass with heavy strings, all while using only two fingers on your right hand. Steve Harris is a well-read individual with Christian beliefs and an expansive vocabulary. All of these influence his writing. Iron Maiden songs are primarily written by Mr. Steve Harris, as mentioned previously, while some of the songs are written by Bruce Dickinson and Adrian Smith or Dave Murray. It is apparent that Steve Harris is the mastermind and arbiter of the band's lyrics and subject matter. When listening to early Iron Maiden, it will become apparent that Steve Harris likes to study history and digest literature. Later on in the Iron Maiden discography, more Christian themes will surface, especially in the X Factor and Brave New World. Since Christianity is a very polarizing topic, certain songs are overlooked by certain demographics, which is most likely why such themes are used minimally in Iron Maiden. There is nothing overtly special about Steve Harris's writing, but his lyrics have a great amount of endurance and only add to the song, which is why Iron Maiden is able to pull off 20-minute songs and maintain interest from the audience, even live. While some may deny Steve Harris is the ultimate metal bassist, their complaints or counter-arguments are often weak. A common complaint is that Steve Harris is overrated and isn't technical or unique enough to be praised for his work. But if Steve Harris implemented any more advanced techniques, not only would it completely ruin the style of Iron Maiden and British Lion, it would only overcomplicate things and make the whole experience seem dull. No one wants to hear a 5-minute bass solo buried under guitars, a vocalist, and a drummer. Some people would question Steve Harris's choice of Bruce Dickinson as the vocalist. There are some who can't bear to listen to Bruce Dickinson's vocals, yet there is no better choice for Iron Maiden. Imagine Rob Halford or Jeff Tate taking his place. They both have the range and the power for it, but they wouldn't be a good fit. They don't have the style, and Steve Harris knows this. He knows his band, and he knows that the chemistry is important between the members. If you will consider all of the points I've made here, I believe you will find that Steve Harris is the ultimate metal bassist. If not, then surely the faith in your favorite bassist will be wavered, even slightly. After all, does your favorite bassist write interesting lyrics and melodies while laying down a solid foundation and keeping the essence of bass guitar in the band? Most likely not. Thank you kindly for your time, Vincent Master Bassist. This is an addendum. If you made it to the end, thank you. I want to make more video essays like this. It was something new and it was fun. I really like writing essays and I think I'm quite good at it. I might be a little rusty because it's been a while since high school, but I want to get away from the covers and start making more original things because I don't want to just copy other people my whole life. What would that make me? A cover person, not even a cover band. Anyway, my next topic is still a mystery, but we will find out together.